Hello, it's me, Kerbanaut here, and well, today I'm gonna be talking about something some of you may have heard before. Now, if you watch Scott Manley's videos, you may have heard me mention a couple of things, one of which is the Lagrange points, or Lagrange points, you know, however you really want to pronounce that. See, I pronounce it Lagrange, but I think it's French. I think the guy's name was French. I think the guy must speak French. Anyway, right, so yeah, it's these points I'd like to talk about today. First question, what are the Lagrange points? Well, as the name suggests, they're points in space. Furthermore, they're points in space where, in a rotating reference frame, they're stationary relative to the two other bodies. For example, what you're seeing me do right now is attempting to launch a satellite to the L2 point around Kerbin. Now, in KSP, the physics engine is not powerful enough to calculate the effects of the moon's gravity out with its sphere of influence, and so in KSP, Lagrange points have no special significance, as the physics that makes them work in reality is not calculated in the game. However, we're going to continue with this mission, as it's going to show you what I am talking about. So, let's talk about the L1 point. The L1 point actually lies between the first and the second body, in this case, Kerbin and the moon. In reality, the Sun and Jupiter would be a good example. To make use of this, and the rest of the points for that matter, the mass of the object which lies at the points would have to be negligible in comparison to the two other bodies. So this won't work, say, with the large moon or, I don't know, a planet or something. It has to be negligible in comparison to the two other bodies. So at the L1 point, one would expect a satellite to orbit faster as it's in a lower orbit. However, as the pull of the moon's gravity somewhat counteracts that of Kerbin's, the resulting force is less, so the satellite doesn't need to orbit faster to keep itself from plummeting to its doom. As it orbits slower, it stays in the same orbit relative to Kerbin. You can really think of the launch points as long-distance geostationary orbits. It's pretty cool if I do say so myself. Let's talk about the L2 point then, eh? So at the L2 point, the orbit's further out, and so typically we would expect the satellite to orbit slower, but you know, as Kerbin and the moon align, the combined force acting on the satellite means it needs to orbit faster to stay in its orbit. Consequently, this means that once again the satellite is motionless relative to the moon. The L2 point around the Sun is actually going to be used by the James Webb Space Telescope in hopefully 2018 when it launches. The geostationary characteristics of this point allow the Space Telescope to remain in contact with the Earth while getting away from all the annoying radiation that our planet gives off. Let's talk about the L3 point. Moving on, just let's go normally. Right, 1, 2, 3. Let's do number 3 now. So the L3 point is much the same as the L2 point, but it's on the other side of Kerbin. So, again, the sum of the forces from both Kerbin and the moon means that the satellite must orbit faster, and the geosynchronous effect is once again seen. It's so much like the L2 point, it's just on the other side. Okay, L4 and L5 points. So these are very similar to each other, but they're very quite different from the others. Where the other points were collinear, they're all kind of in a straight line. If you put a line through them, that line would be straight. These 2 points are not. They orbit around the center of gravity of the two bodies, and to the best of my knowledge, they orbit slightly higher than the second body, or the moon in our case. The L4 and L5 points exist at the corners of equilateral triangles, with the two bodies as the other two corners. As you can see from the little picture I'm putting up on the screen right now. It's a pretty cool picture, isn't it? Yeah, I thought I should put a picture there. It's, you know, it's a cool picture, isn't it? Yeah. Moving on. Okay, so unfortunately, our satellite will not hold its position relative to the moon, as mentioned before, because the KSP physics engine is not powerful enough. I have been told, though, that the game Orbiter does have physics to allow these points to function as in reality. I am, however, unsure, as I've not been able to play the game myself. Oh, I don't know, I tried to get it working, but it just wasn't. Anyway, for now, though, we'll have to be content with the physics that KSP provides, because hey, who doesn't love the random attacks of the Kraken? Well, folks, that is all from me. I hope you have found this video to be informative. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And if you feel so inclined, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Have a great day, folks. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.